Hey guys and girls, I'm Obsidian, and this week saw a new update to the Star Citizen roadmap. Although currently this new roadmap is still a work in progress, so it doesn't paint a full picture of what's going on with Star Citizen for this year, but further updates to the roadmap should arrive before too much longer. Now, with all that said, currently some of the most standout changes to the roadmap are some pretty significant reductions in what the next update, patch 3.9, will be offering. Specifically, the dynamic mission system, commodity transfer timers, accounting app, as well as the repair, refuel and restock kiosks have all been moved out of patch 3.9. Now currently there's no date on when to expect these features, but seeing as the roadmap currently doesn't show updates 4.1 and 4.2, it seems probable that these features have all been moved to one of those updates. Now, to be honest here, this is pretty hard. It does hit pretty hard, as it contains a fair chunk of gameplay that a lot of people were certainly looking forward to. For me, the economy-generated missions are something that I really want to see as soon as possible, as they have a real potential to add a lot of gameplay. Also, it's worth mentioning that these dynamic missions were originally planned for patch 3.8 before being moved into 3.9, where they now find themselves being delayed yet again. Now, for those who may be unaware, the dynamic mission system will allow the game to generate missions more or less on the fly, based upon what is going on within the current environment. Now, naturally, most of this will be economy focused, and on a separate but somewhat related note, some of you will no doubt remember the great talk CIG gave at the recent CitizenCon about dynamic economies. Now, whilst this presentation didn't have the visual flair of some of the other announced content there, it was nonetheless arguably the most impressive presentation. Essentially, what was on show was a fully simulated dynamic economy, run by persistent NPCs, which in turn could be directly affected and impacted by player actions. So, a dynamic mission system that eventually connects into an economy as complex as this, would certainly have a lot to offer. However, it's also a big ask technologically, and therefore easy to see why CIG would be taking a lot of time over this. Patch 4.0 has also seen content moved to an unspecified future date. A few standout moved items include Zero-G push and pull, multi-crew expanded pilot roles, and NPC healing. Again, as the roadmap doesn't show anything beyond 4.0 currently, there's no way of telling where these items have been moved to, but I'd be willing personally to place bets on 4.2, but of course that's just a guess. Now, CIG have pointed out that they still have a number of meetings scheduled to wrap up the planning phases for this year's roadmap, and they've pointed out that the current online roadmap will be updated to reflect all these further changes over the coming weeks. So yeah, that certainly covers the biggest changes to the roadmap, and if you're interested in the finer details as well as the minutiae of what's been moved and relocated, then there's 3 separate links in the video description for you. The first is for the official Star Citizen roadmap, the second is for the post made by CIG detailing the changes, and the third is a visual map made by Redditor Odysseus. The visual roadmap is actually great and will give you a clear at-a-glance representation of where things currently stand. Now currently, there has been a fair amount of negative reaction to the latest roadmap within the community, and that's to be completely understandable. Last year, both Chris Roberts and Erin Roberts did, after all, state numerous times that they were confident in their ability to hit the 2019 targets, and they expressly stated that they created the 2019 roadmap with that aim in mind. But to state the obvious, game development is difficult, so I guess slippages are to be expected, but it's still frustrating nonetheless. So then, what's to be expected next? Well, it's going to be interesting to see what, if any, new items that CIG are going to actually add to the finalised 2020 Star Citizen roadmap. Now, there's a lot of missed targets from 2019 that will have to be added to this year, which in turn may potentially have a knock-on effect of reducing further new content in 2020. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see on that. But in regards to the further out content, stuff for the further future or the far future, we know that the Pyro system, that's the second star system, is currently in development. We also know that there's going to be volumetric space-based clouds. These actually look rather fantastic. And then of course there's also the jump gaze. And we can see some of this demonstrated in the background right here, and this footage of course come from the recent CitizenCon. Now, meanwhile, with patch 3.9, which is scheduled, I believe, for the first quarter of this year, there's still the new Microtech moons to look forward to. There's 3 of these, and these will be using the new Planetary V4 tech that debuted in version 3.8 of Star Citizen. A new NPC mission giver is also set for an appearance in 3.9, as are some interesting elements such as the lore system V2, Surrender, prison missions, PvP bounties, just to name a few things. So whilst 3.9 certainly isn't going to be as large as originally planned, it will definitely still contain some decent additions. And finally, Alpha 3.8.1 has gone to the public servers, that's the live servers. It's brought some extra stability and some fixes, but unfortunately it's also brought about a known money duplication bug, which a number of people are no doubt exploiting. But we'll have to see how CIG address this one this time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.